Okay, hello, and welcome back to my live chat. So I am so excited about a whole lot of things we have coming up. Just look out. I'll be making announcements for all the new things that we have coming up. So just look out for them. On this week's topic, hello, Alexa Watts. Welcome to this live chat. So in this live chat, I'm going to be giving you some experiences. Some of my own experiences as far as we're discussing power struggle in the classroom. So power struggle can be with teacher and student, as well as you can have power struggle with student and student in the classroom. But our focus is going to be on teacher and student this week, okay? All right, so if you have any questions, remember, go ahead and put them in the chat box. I will be, in the comment section, I should say, I will be more than willing to answer them for you. If you don't have any questions and you want to send me a private message, you can do that as well. All right, so let's get into it. So when we talk about power struggle, we're pretty much talking about, it's relationship building. How do we build relationship in the classroom? All right. So power struggles, it most often occurs when the teacher places a demand on a student and the student does not want to comply with the demands that the teacher is placing on them. And then the teacher may respond in an aggressive manner. And it reaches, escalation where you have arguments in the class with the teacher and the student. Now, let me just give you my experience. So my first year of teaching, I was so excited. I'm still excited about teaching anyway, but I was so excited. I taught in Jamaica. That was in 2002, my first year of teaching. I taught at Edwin Allen High School in Frankfield, Clarendon. So shout out to Edwin Allen High School and anybody who's looking or watching from Edwin Allen High School. But that was my first year of teaching and I loved it. I had a good time with my students. They were high school students, grades 9 through 12. And I had fun with them. We went out on trips. We just had a great time. And I don't remember really having, like my students we would be arguing or anything like that. I just can't remember having that kind of relationship with my students at that time because, it was fun. We just had a good time. Now, fast forward, coming to the United States, and I was teaching. And I was teaching 8th grade. That was one of my years that I will not forget. Okay, so let me tell you what happened. So in 8th grade, I was teaching 8th graders, and it's kind of like you've been tested, put through the ring on fire. That's how I felt being in that grade at first. Okay, so it was like I'm walking on landmines. Students would get into it with each other, and then I would get frustrated, and it was a challenging year for me. But fast forward, I learned and I started having a rapport with my students. And, we ended up having a good time coming on to the end of the school year. We had a great time because I developed that rapport with my students. And so I started having fun with them. And it got very good to today when I see them. I'm like, hey, and they're like, hey, Miss Atkins. And I'm like, I thought y'all hated me. But no, we developed a great relationship. So now, if we're to prevent power struggle in the classroom, and this is not, these are some things that I've used over the years of reflecting on my practices and, how I've dealt with my classroom environment. And, as much as we might try not to have struggles in the classroom, sometimes because we're human, things will happen and we might get aggressive with our students or our students might get aggressive, but I'm trying to give you tips to not escalate a situation. If a situation starts to occur, you want to de-escalate, okay? So these are the top tips that I've found to be very helpful. And if you are a veteran teacher and you want to share any tips that you have used, feel free to put them in the comment section when I post this video so other people can use them because it's a struggle, okay? All right, so the first tip is to create a respectful environment. Hey, your fave, Crystal, welcome. All right, so the first thing is to create a very respectful environment, which includes setting reasonable expectations of the students and being consistent with those expectations. Okay. Next is to build a rapport. You want to build a relationship with your students. You want to share the things that you have in common. Hey, Real Roxy, welcome. You want to share the things that you have in common with your students. Talk about it. Have conversations with them. You know, we always use in Jamaica the term, you want to flex, know how to flex with your students, okay? Have a good time in a respectful environment and building that rapport, okay? Next, you want to make sure that you provide choices, at least 2 choices when you have expectations of your student. You want to have at least 2 choices. And then whenever things come up, you want to make sure that you're using a calm, neutral tone in your voice. You want to exercise self-control. It might be hard sometimes, but that's what you want to make sure that you're exercising so that you don't go very high and you're shouting at your student. You want to do that because that leads to a very aggressive environment. And then you want to also allow your student, or you want to allow yourself to take a cool off period. If something becomes tense and you find that you're being you kind of frustrated a bit, you want to allow yourself to step back, or you want to allow the student to step back, you want to make sure you do that. And then the last thing, a lot of times teachers, you don't want to ask for help, but help is available. So you want to utilize the help that is available, whether it's your admin, a fellow teacher that you might can send your student to, or, if a teacher might want to step in your room, or, somebody might want to step in your room and allow you to get a cool off period. Yes. Counselors, they're there to help. So you want to make sure you utilize that help that you have. All right. Thanks everyone for joining me. Do you have any questions on how to prevent that power struggle in the classroom? All right, so if you don't have any questions now, when I post this video, if you want to put the questions in there, I'll go back and check, and then I will, answer those questions for you. Now, one of the main things you want to remember in creating this kind of respectful environment, you want to remember, so that you don't have this power struggle, you want to remember that if you're escalated, and I saw this somewhere, and it's true, if you're an escalated person or you're escalated as a teacher, an escalated teacher cannot de-escalate an escalated child. So if you're up there, they're up there, nobody's going to come down here. Okay, so we want to make sure that we have control over our own emotions, or the way that we're feeling, in order for us to de-escalate those children that might be, going through a hard time. All right. So thank you so much for joining me. And next week, same time, we're going to have another topic. And like I said, there are a lot of things coming up that I will be posting as they come up, and, make announcements. So just keep on following me on all my platforms, and I will see you next week at 5. And like we always say in Jamaica, wanna take care of yourself. All right. Bye, everybody.